Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope you are well by the grace of Allah with your friends and families. Welcome to our today's online class. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. This is Sifat Ferdowsi Shaun, lecturer, Department of Biology, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Today, I will discuss about adaptation characteristics of hydrophytes and adaptation characteristics of halophytes and adaptation characteristics of xerophytes from chapter 12. So dear students, let's start our today's online class. What we will be learn from our today's lesson: adaptation characteristics and examples of hydrophytes, halophytes and xerophytes. So, first of all, we should know about what is adaptation. So, adaptation of organisms. The characteristics features acquired by an organism, that is plant or animal, to inhabit in a particular habitat is called adaptation. And then the same type adaptation develops in all the members of a population or community. For example, parenchyma. Parenchyma with much air space is present in all floating aquatic plants. On the other hand, sclerenchyma, that is mechanical tissue, is present in xerophytes. Now, the environment based classification of plant communities. Warming 1909 classified plant communities into three principal groups depending upon the nature of soil and availability of water in the medium. These are hydrophytes, mesophytes and xerophytes. In the saline areas, a special type of salt tolerant plants are found to grow, which are known as halophytes. I would like to describe the aquatic characteristics or aquatic adaptation, that is hydrophytes. Plants growing in habitats abundance in water are known as hydrophytes. Hydrophytic plants may partially or wholly remain underwater, that is water hyacinth. Now I will describe about the characteristics of hydrophytes. First characteristic is stems are soft, weak, narrow and with long internodes. Anchored hydrophytes have rhizomatous stem. Number 2, root system is ill developed. Generally, root and root hairs are absent or ill developed. Free floating species containing root pocket. And then number 3, floating plants contain waxy covering cuticle on upper epidermis. Submerged plants have no cuticle. Number 4, stomata absent or functionless, guard cells may be absent. Number 5, large air cavities present in the tissue of the body. And then number 6, mechanical tissue absent or ill developed. Number 7, vascular bundles are ill developed. Number 8, most of the plants propagate by vegetative method. Now, the types of hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are classified into 5 classes based on their habitats. Number 1, free floating hydrophytes. Number 2, rotate floating hydrophytes. Number 3, rotate submerged hydrophytes. Number 4, free submerged hydrophytes. Number 5, rooted emergent hydrophytes. Now I will describe these 5 types of hydrophytes. Free floating hydrophytes. Those hydrophytes whole body of which remain floating above the water and move with the air or water current are known as free floating hydrophytes. No part of these plants remain attached to the soil, that is water hyacinth, there is Eichhornia and Topapanna, Pistia, etc. Here you can see some examples or some pictures of free floating hydrophytes, that is Lamna, Salvinia, Azolla, Pistia, Wolffia. And then rooted floating hydrophytes. Those hydrophytic plants whose leaves remain above the water but roots remain anchored to the soil are called rooted floating hydrophytes or anchored floating hydrophytes. Here you can see some picture of rooted hydrophytes, rooted floating hydrophytes, that is Nymphia, Victoria and Trappa. Then I will go for rooted submerged hydrophytes. They are submerged in the water but roots are fixed, that is Hydrilla, Balisneria, Potamogeton. These are the examples of rooted submerged hydrophytes, and this is the figure. And now I will go for free submerged hydrophytes. Those hydrophytes remain submerged underwater but not attached to the soil are known as free submerged hydrophytes. Roots are absent in this group of plants, that is Jhaji, Ceratophyllum, Naja, that is Najas. Here this is the picture of Najas. And then rooted emergent hydrophytes. In this type of hydrophytic plants, the roots remain anchored to the soil underwater and their body partially or fully remain above water. Here some picture of rooted emergent hydrophytes, that is Typha, Sagittaria and then Ranunculus. Now I will describe about the adaptations found in hydrophytes, that is morphological adaptation, anatomical adaptation, physiological adaptation. We should know about the what is the morphological adaptation of hydrophytes, or what is the anatomical adaptation, or what is the physiological adaptation. So first of all, morphological adaptation of hydrophytes. Roots. Morphological adaptation of hydrophytes, first of all, roots, and this is the poorly developed or absent in plants like Wolffia, Ceratophyllum, and then their root hairs are absent in certain plants. Root caps are replaced by root pockets, that is Eichhornia, Pistia, and the root act as a balancing and anchoring organs. Aerial roots are developed in certain plants like Juicea. And then the morphological characteristics of leaves. In many floating forms, leaves are deposited with wax, that is Nymphia, Victoria regia. In submerged forms, they are reduced and thin leaves. In emergent hydrophytes, leaves are of two types: dissected leaves in water and aerial leaves are well developed. The spongy petiole is observed in Eichhornia, which help in buoyancy. The leaves are dissected in Ceratophyllum. And then the anatomical adaptation. Here cuticle is absent. Epidermis is single layered, made up of thin walled parenchyma cells, so they can absorb water. And then cortex is well developed, made up of parenchyma cells, and then There are large air spaces surrounded by parenchyma cells called parenchyma cells. They help in gaseous exchange and give buoyancy to plants. Anatomical adaptation of here some more than anatomical adaptation characteristics. Mechanical tissues are absent to avoid rigidness of a stem. Vascular tissues are poorly developed. Xylem consists of only tracheids. In Nymphia, special type of star-shaped lignified cells are present which give mechanical support. In submerged leaves, stomata are totally absent, so the exchange of gases is carried out by all the cells. In floating leaves, stomata are present on upper epidermis. Now I will go for physiological adaptation. Absorption of water and minerals take place by all the submerged body parts. Osmotic pressure in hydrophytes is very low. Transpiration does not occur in submerged species. In the anchored hydrophytes, stomata are present on upper surface of floating leaves and on both surfaces of leaves of emergent parts. For this reason, rate of respiration in emergent hydrophytes is high. Mucilaginous layer is present on the surface to protect the body from rotting. Most of the hydrophytes propagate in vegetative method. Now, the adaptation characteristics of xerophyte, which we can call the desert adaptation. The plants growing in arid dry soil where rainfall is very sandy and transpiration rate is very high are known as xerophytes. Oppenheimer in 1960 interpreted xerophytes as those plants with the morphological, anatomical modifications which may assist the plant to cope successfully with the environmental water deficit. Now, the xerophytic adaptation characteristics also three types: morphological adaptation, anatomical adaptation and physiological as adaptation. Here you can see some figure of xerophytic plant and then adaptation of xerophytes. Some general adaptations are found in the xerophytes which are as follows. First of all, morphological adaptation. Root system in the xerophytic plant is very well developed and extended as numerous branches. The roots of the perennial species grow deep into the soil. Root contains root hairs and root cap. And then stems. Stems of xerophytes. Stems are generally small, stout and woody in nature. The stem remains covered with stem hairs, wax or thick bark. Stem may be modified in different ways. Sometimes it becomes succulent. Leaves are small or scaly or modified into spines, sometimes succulent. And then anatomical adaptations. Epidermis remain covered by thick cuticle. Sometimes deposition of lignin or wax may take place. In most cases, thick multilayer hypodermis is present. In few species, epidermis becomes multilayered. The stem may contain ridge and furrows in some plants. Stomata are sunken in nature. Spongy layer in leaves may be very thin or absent. Vascular bundles are well developed and elaborate. Here you can see this is the xerophytes thick waxy cuticle. Here you can say this is the waxy cuticle stomata sunken in pits, leaf hairs Having leaves covered by thickened cuticle prevents water loss from the leaf surface. And then the physiological adaptations. Osmotic pressure in xerophytic plants is very high for conduction of water and minerals. Transpiration rate is very low in these groups of plants. Their succulent plant body contains polysaccharides and pentosan. Some enzymes including peroxidase and catalase are more active in xerophytic plants. Here some examples of some xerophytes, and you can see this is the picture of some xerophytes: Nerium, Pinus, Casuarina, Equisetum, Calotropis, Ephedra. These are non-succulent xerophytes. Now we will describe about halophytes. Halophytes are a special type of plants which grow on saline soil and can tolerate high salt concentration and waterlogging. They can grow and propagate successfully and efficiently in those conditions. That is example of Sundari heteroteria forms. Here you can see this is the Sundari plants and this is the new metaphor. And now I will describe about the characteristics of halophytes. Number 1. Most of the plants are shrubs, some are herbs. The shrubs are profusely branched and bushy in structure. Number 2. Some plants show xerophytic characters like succulent stem, thick and flashy leaves, or leaves are absent. Number 3. Large air cavities are present in the root. Here you can see number 4 characteristic is prop roots or stilt roots are generally present. Here you can see this is the aerial roots, this is the prop roots, and this is the stem branch, and this is the actually prop roots. This type of prop roots are present in the halophytes. And then new metaphors are developed in most of the halophytes. Here you can see this is the new metaphor and this is the new metaphor. Number 6. This is very important characteristics and very unique characteristics of halophytes. Several members show viviparous germination. So what is viviparous germination? The seeds germinate while still attached to the parent plant. Here you can see this is the fruit and this is the radicle, and it germinates when it's attached to the parent plant. This type of germination is actually called viviparous germination. Adaptation of halophytes. The following adaptations are found in the halophytic plants. Number 1. As they grow on soft and muddy soil flooded by water, the plants are generally short in height. Most are shrubs. Number 2. Their roots do not penetrate deep into the soil, and so prop roots or stilt roots develop to maintain balance. Number 3. As the amount of free oxygen present in the soil is very low due to the presence of saline water, new metaphors come up above the soil and collect oxygen from the air. Number 4. They don't absorb highly saline water but collect mild saline water during rain and store it in them. Number 5. In most of the species, leaves are thick, fleshy and succulent or absent to reduce the transpiration. High osmotic pressure of cell shape also helps it. Number 6. Root contains large air cavities to store huge amount of oxygen. Number 7. Presence of thick cuticle, sunken stomata and excess mechanical tissue help in reducing transpiration. Number 8. Viviparous germination helps in reproduction in littoral zones. And then the fruits and seeds become washed away due to regular high and low tide. For this reason, in many plants, viviparous germination takes place. Mangrove vegetation. The special type of halophytic plants growing in the littoral coastal areas are known as mangroves or mangrove vegetation. Due to viviparous germination, only one type of plants grow below and around mangrove plants, that is Keora, Soneratia epitala, Poshor, Carapa, Malocansis, etc. Here are some halophytic plants, that is Nipa fruticans, that is we called Golpata, and then Exocaria agaloca, and that is called Gawa. Here you can see this is the Heroteria forms, that is the Sundari, and that is Avicennia. Now it's time for homework. Your homework will be differences among the hydrophytes, halophytes and xerophytes. Please submit your homework in your respective subject-wise homework group. If you have any query, please ask your subject teacher. So dear students, I hope you all enjoyed our today's online class. Thank you for being with me. Stay home and stay safe. Take care. Allah Hafiz.